Now, the way I met Steve was that I was playing in Chicago, up in Lincoln Park, just 3 or 4 doors down from somebody else's Troubles, which is the bar that was owned and frequented by Steve, mostly. And I was in a place called Dirty Dan's Saloon. And just playing along, and one night, this very short, diminutive guy bounced into the bar, plopped himself down at the bar, ordered a beer, and he was just sitting there listening. And didn't walk out right away, which was a good thing, I guess. And my bass player, a guy named Mike Lieber, said, "You know who that is?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "Yeah, Steve Goodman." And I said to Mike, "Do you suppose he'd be willing to come up and play with us a little bit?" And I'm young, bold as brass. I mean, this was years ago. And so Mike said something about, yeah, but he doesn't like to be recognized, or something to that effect. And so you know, I looked at Steve, and Steve looked at me, and I think he thought he knew what was going on, I guess. And so I said, "Got a friend of mine just walked into the bar, a fellow named Joe Steele. I want to invite him up to play with us a couple songs." And so, you know, Steve took another sip of his beer and walked up onto the stage and took this guitar that I'm now holding. I was playing the 12-string at that time. And so he took this 6-string, and as I've said in many ways, many times, this guitar has never sounded so good before or since. I mean, he could really, really play the guitar. The guy was incredible, high energy, and wonderfully, excellent musician. So again, being young, naive, and bold as brass, I figured, you know, what the heck, and said, "Let's do City of New Orleans." And that was great. So we did City of New Orleans, and I sang it with Steve, and he didn't walk off the stage right away. In fact, he had a good time. He stuck around, and we played together for probably about 40 minutes. And then he went and finished off what was left of his beer and stepped outside, and it was fun. It was fun. And actually later that night, I don't think I've ever told you this, Clay. Later that night, we went down to Earl's Old Town, and Steve was there. And after the closing, there's a gathering of musicians that happened in Chicago on a regular basis. And after the bars were all closed and after hours. And so I had a chance, I'd forgotten, I never told you this, but saw him there, and he said he had a good time. And it was fun. It was just it was a fun thing to sort of rub up against him, to you know, perform with him, to experience on stage with him the remarkable, just incredible energy that man could put out on stage. And it was fun. It was a good moment. I enjoyed it.